The coolest station online.
Yeah.
Hi there, this is your Royal Ruler on RTI. We're live and in colour.
RTI.
That's us.
'Cause we play
This.
RTI.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
You're never more than a minute away from the music on RTI.
This is the station, HKPPY.
RTI.
This is Postcard from Poprad from Radio Tatras International, your station of the stars. Good afternoon, one and all. It's Lee and Eric today, because Rach is off doing her Mother Teresa act. Yeah, she's being Mother Teresa, isn't she?
You told me to shut up.
No, you can talk now.
Oh, yes, she is, yes.
Yeah,
she's doing something really good,
Yeah.
and
And it's Mother Teresa stuff, so we won't talk about it. But good luck, Rach.
good luck, Rach, and everybody else involved.
Yes, indeed so. So here are, it's your sideways look at the news, and we are melting. It could be, I was nearly going to do topless radio, then I thought about it and thought, no, they'd see moobs everywhere, and that would be terrible.
Oh, look, no, look.
I know.
Look at my shirt.
I know. Look at my shirt. Where's my shirt? Say hello to Sue.
Sue! Hello, Sue!
And Steve and Marcus and Martin is there.
Hello, Martin.
Along
Hello,
with
Steve.
Griff,
Hello,
Dave.
whoever else.
Dave.
Dave.
Den Jan Tribula. He's there. He's
Dobry Den.
I like Jano. Or Johnny.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
Johnny.
don't like any of the others?
Sorry, Johnny. Yes, I do. I like the others. Ed's there, as always, as is Jack
Hello, Jack.
and
Jill.
Shushi. Isn't that a lovely name?
I like Shushi.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Ken's there as well.
Ken?
As is Paolo. Paolo Kiska's there. Oh, hello, mate. What do you mean? Oh, dear, says
Right.
Steve. Who's going to keep you guys under control with Rachel away? I have no
I am.
idea. Yeah, right. We'll say a quick hello to some of the others as well.
Okay.
On you now. Hello to Anthony, who's in Thailand. Hello, mate. How are you? Nice to have you
Nice
with us.
shop. Nice shop.
Yeah. Oh, my word. He's terrible, isn't he?
My camera's not on.
No, I know. It's broken and I
Oh,
haven't fixed it.
no, it isn't.
Hi to Angelica. Hello to Max, to Jordan, to Fran, and to various... Well, there's too many more people to talk to.
Too many more people to talk.
My grammar's gone, hasn't it? I think my grandma went home a long time ago.
I'm going to have to have some coffee because I keep coughing.
Really? Well, listen, boys and girls, be careful because we've got stories in that might make my blood boil today.
Ooh.
Because I'm getting very fed up. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
I'm getting very fed up with people being numpties and blaming everybody else for their misgivings.
Humpty Numpties.
Humpty numpties is what they are. So anyway, we'll. How's your week?
How's me what?
How's your week?
Oh, me week. Sorry, it's fine, thank you. It's been. I see. Yes, it's been really good. I've quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I disliked you a couple of times this week, but
Yes,
that's
that's
only
true.
normal.
Yeah, part of the course.
And then I fell in love with you again. In
In a manly way.
way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
And that's it.
Oh, really?
And I'm taking my car out today.
Blimey. Everybody in Poprad, please drive in the middle of... Oh, no, actually walk in the middle of the road.
Why don't you just drive on the proper side of the road?
We do. Hello, Igor. Hello.
Hello, Igor.
Yes, that's it. This is a traffic warning. Diddly, 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 diddly. And... walk down the middle of the road because they'll be driving somewhere
pavement.
wrong on the pavement or something like that. Good afternoon to Stephen as well. Tony Bullimore, the British sailor who survived 4 days under a capsized yacht. I remember seeing the rescue.
I did the story.
I watched it on the telly.
I did the story.
I watched it on the telly.
Yeah, but I watched it on the telly. That's where I got the story from. Yeah, no, it was an amazing story. It was such a character, wasn't it? Really was an amazing character, and that's what made the story so brilliant. Then he went out and did it again, didn't he? Just ignore me, I don't care.
I am. I think this is Shiri.
Who?
I think it's Shiri Sharma.
Our Brits are Shiri.
Who says, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Well, hello. Hello. And Eric blaming Lee when anything goes wrong on the show is, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, who's that?
I've got to blame somebody.
Yeah, Martin.
No. And Aaron,
don't
says,
tell
hello.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Aaron. So Tony Bullymoy, he was very famous. He got was doing this round-the-worldy thing.
I just did this while you were ignoring me.
Yeah, that's right. And the Australian Navy, actually, they did make international news, didn't they?
Well, he did, yeah. That's why I was on it, because I was an international journalist at the time.
Really?
And, yeah, it was a brilliant story, because, like, I did say, when you were ignoring me, he was such a character. He was such an amazingly big character. The problem was he then went out and did it again.
I know.
Silly Billy.
What a silly sausage. Well, he
Yeah.
wasn't a silly Billy, he was a silly Tony.
Well, he was really, but
Yes,
he
he
was
was.
very funny. He was very funny.
Oh, Shiri, I'm going to mess this up.
Oh, heck.
Shiri is from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand, India.
Oh, right. Hello, Sherry. I like India. I used to live in India, unlike him.
Oh, right.
We've got a visitor.
Here we've got a visitor in the background. If you're on Facebook, you can have a quick look. You can see Petra.
See that? Look there.
Yeah, she's got naked knees today.
Yes, look at those. That's knees.
That's
legs.
naked knees.
And bumps of daisies.
Whoa. Brian's joining us from the Tatry region as well. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
And who's that behind you? Is it someone who you can't keep under control? Yes.
Yes, you just sneaked in.
You cannot control Petra whatsoever. It's impossible to control a Petra. I have no idea how that's done, but she was there with her naked knees. Anyway, congrats to the Australian Navy who helped her out on that absolutely amazing rescue.
Yeah.
And as I said, it was on the television.
But it was him who was heroic, though. He's the one who did the James Bond thing and found an air pocket inside his capsized ship. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
You only usually do that in soaps like Emmerdale.
Message for Petra, get in the studio now and keep them under control.
Who said that?
Guess.
Mr. Man.
Yes.
You won't be able to see her knees. You can see mine, though. Look. Oh, no, you can't. His head's in the way.
Hello, Cliff.
I have very pretty
Bernard
knees.
Hampton, the actor, he's died at the grand old age of 92. And he did lots of telly in the 70s and 80s. And he was the commandant in Colditz, which was actually one of the few dramas I ever watched, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
It was very good. It was very good.
I can't do it. Actually, I did have a look yesterday because somebody was asking me about television. Oh, that was Petra waving in the background. The only trouble was nobody could see her because she's too tall for where the webcam was. She's
Get down, Petra.
Petra, you have to kneel down between Lee and I, and then we can see you.
That might look stupid.
That would look rather interesting. Cliff's given us a thumbs up.
Is that Cliff Richard?
No.
Who?
More famous than Cliff Richard. It's Cliff Valise Jones. Anyway, back to Bernard.
He's
Hampton,
dead.
Who's died.
Oh, poor old Bernard.
boy. And in fact, he was a Yorkshireman. Oh, Paul would love
Oh,
that.
what's wrong with that?
Well, he's a foreigner.
He is yes, you're right. He's not a Lancastrian.
No, he's not. He's north of Watford Gap.
I'm just trying to move my thing up, if you forgive me.
Yeah, right. Now I'm going to completely leave the next one alone and pass that over to Lee because Nuala Constantine.
That nice lady.
Yeah, from the Telegraph.
Yeah, Noella Considine. These are the people that really need to be recognised, and it's nice actually. I got this out of the Daily Telegraph, and they recognised her as somebody whose death should be noted, and she was one of the world's greatest crossword compilers.
You're right.
And she's died. She's 90, and she's died. Will you stop showboating while I'm being serious?
Well, how am I showboating?
Because you try to show people your coffee cup like a big girl.
Well, it says wanted on it.
I thought it said warts.
No, wanted.
Looks like warts. Anyway.
No, I haven't got any of those. Rachel!
Hello, Rachel.
Rachel's there, doing her, I'm here now. Oh, are you here now, Rach? I wonder if we can get her on the show. What do you think? Shall we give it a try?
Give it a go.
You give it a go. All right, we'll give it a go because we like that. If only I could find out how to drive this computer, which I probably
can't do that one. That was my list.
I know. I've just nicked it. Norman's there. Hello, Norman St. John.
Hello, Norman.
NSJ, as he's known. On the thingies. Thank you, she's off saying happy tea. I'm drinking coffee.
Out of his wart mug.
Yeah, I'm drinking coffee. Excuse me for a second while I
could have done that.
You? I couldn't trust you to do anything technical. Not at all.
Technically you could.
Technically I could, but technically it would be a disaster if I let you do it, wouldn't it, Rach?
Hey there, Rach. Speaker to me. I think we'll have to turn the speaker up. Would you like me to do that?
No, I'm trying to hear her at the moment and I can't. For some silly reason, which I have no idea why it's not working.
Well, should I do a story while you look for Rach?
Yeah, go on, you do a story.
You have to put my list back up, though.
Well, I can't, because then I can't see what I'm doing.
All right, and I'll tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else who's listening, I can't describe how hot it is in Poprad at this moment. I have a drip dry shirt on it, except it's not dry, it's just dripping. And him,
What?
it's like a manly waterfall sitting next to me.
Really? Rach, can you talk to me now?
Yes.
That's good. That's better. I've got you now.
Hey there, darling.
Rach?
Oh,
Yes.
have we lost her again?
No, we've got her.
I'm here.
Hello, you right?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Speak
I'm just
to me.
being
Should I
quiet.
carry on talking
'cause
to the
she's-
people?
I'm being quiet because she's gone to sleep.
Oh, I see. Have we got to whisper as well then?
Oh, we're whispering.
No, she's all right. She's pretty zonked. They gave her some
She's still doing the
medication.
Mother Teresa thing.
Can you hear? No, you can't hear anything. Well, you have to do that. Then you'll probably hear her.
Say something, Rachel, then I might be able to hear you.
I'm here, Uncle Lee. I'm here.
I can hear you now. You sound very sexy.
Have they run out of beer in Poprad yet? Nearly. Yeah, I know.
No, I tell you what,
Nearly.
they've got black lager. If anybody's drunk black
so
lager, it's the most incredible drink in the world. Tatras Black Lager.
It's lovely.
It is.
It's very nice. And hi to Chris. We were talking about Bernard and then on toward the lady from the Telegraph, and I didn't bother to do anything on that.
Can you put my thing up for me?
Why?
So I can see it.
Oh, you want to be part of the programme? Right, she wants to be part of the programme now.
Well, gosh.
Anyway, did you know about Nuella Considine, Rach?
No.
She's dead.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, she was 90 as well. And she was a crossword compiler. She was the world's greatest crossword compiler. And she worked for the
then I
Daily
like her already.
Telegraph. Yeah, now she's gone. 2 up, 2 down, really, isn't it?
I've got a great way to do
Yes.
the crosswords now.
What, get Petrus to do it?
No, I just got a big black pen and a rubber. And I just put in the words how I want them.
That's outside the box thinking now.
Absolutely.
That was it, yeah.
Let's do a quick hello to Brian Kemp, who says hi. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
And hi to Mike Darby. And Katie is there as well.
I'm just having to get my thing again.
Right. Now, we have sometimes we do serious things on this show. Not very often, it has to be said. But we do, don't we, Melissa? Hello. And this particular next story, we are going to be sensible about a little bit because we were brought up in public service broadcasting, and so we will just sort of say don't be daft. And we're going to ask Rach for some help on this because she lives in a country where they have hot stuff all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's not a one-off thing. So please, Europe, this is the whole of Europe, please, Europe, don't be daft this weekend. Please wear sunscreen, please drink lots of water, please sit in the shade, and more importantly, look after your pets as well and don't leave them in hot cars.
Or even in hot houses.
Or even in hot houses.
Can I just say very briefly, and this will sound a very strange thing coming from me, but actually, and don't like all Brits do abroad, go and drink gallons and gallons of beer, because that won't do you any good. It will actually potentially kill you.
It'll dehydrate you, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Rach,
Drink water.
What's the best way to deal with temperatures of 40 plus degrees?
The best way is to, if you must be outdoors, find a lot of shade. and you must cover your body adequately with clothing that won't make you too hot, but will stop you getting burnt to a crisp. You must also make sure you wear your sunglasses, because in weather like that, your eyes can get severely damaged.
Yeah.
You must make sure you are hydrating adequately, because as fast as it's coming out of you, you need to put it back in. Dehydration is very, very dangerous, particularly for the elderly and the young and the
people in
with
the
low
middle.
immune systems. People with the low immune systems are always at risk. You all must always make sure that your pets are also adequately cared for in weather like this. Do not leave them in a car. Do not leave them locked up where they have absolutely no hydration. If you have to work all day and your pet is either stuck in your house or in your yard, my advice is to get, those 600ml bottles of soft drink?
Yeah.
Or even litre bottles, the
Yeah.
plastic ones. Fill it full of water, freeze it, and then put it outside for puppy or liquor all day like it's an ice block.
Oh, right,
And they
that's a
will-
good idea.
Yeah, what a
And
good
they
idea.
remain hydrated, because if you have a bowl of water out there, in extreme temperatures, that bowl of water is going to get hot and not
Yes.
very pleasant. So throw a big one of those outside, and they love that. They love licking on it, and it's big ice cream for them. It's quite lovely, but they
Gosh,
do
yeah.
stay very hydrated, and that water will defrost, but not in a great big hurry.
Yeah, Brian's just said, which is absolutely logical, but people go, what? In extreme, sun temperatures, carry an umbrella with you.
Yes,
Very, very
absolutely.
good idea.
Not a brilliant idea,
It
Brian.
actually, because you can
That's your
get.
shade.
Well,
that's
that's
your
it.
shade. You must have shade.
Because
and and you must wear a hat. If you don't have an umbrella and you can't find shade, find an adequately brimmed hat.
This is true.
Yeah. I've been trying some straw ones on today, and I can't get them on because of my hair.
It's your head, dear.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. Rach, really, can I ask you a question? We're looking at where we live on occasions in Spain. Temperatures are apparently going to go up to 50 degrees centigrade, which is 122 Fahrenheit. Is that really, really hot compared to where you are?
That's a lot hotter than what I'm used to. In the middle of Australia, you'll find that, and up the very, very top, you'll find that as well. When I say top, I mean top west, so
Yeah.
not Perth, but way up to the top where Broome
So
is,
it's
you'll find
extraordinary. It's extraordinary weather.
It is extraordinary weather. It's been very, very hot and very, very dry.
Yeah.
In most parts of the world, that's why you're seeing such terrible fires in
Yeah.
California and Greece, and it's not here because it's our winter, but we're in the middle of a winter drought anyway. There's been hardly any rain here in June and July.
There you go.
But it's very, very hot, and you must take it seriously because it is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely right. Ian says, good afternoon, Eric and team. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ian.
Good afternoon.
Brian says, I've never done it, but I've seen some people doing it. Might start, i.e. carrying an umbrella with you. It does make sense.
But they used to do that in the olden days, didn't they?
But it was what was really funny. I remember years ago I was motor racing, and my parents always used to come and watch, which was I always thought was a bit weird, as I was prone to having accidents, as one does. And my father would be wearing about 3 coats, one on top of the other, and you touch his hand, and it was like a block of ice, because he had so much on the outside, blocking the heat getting into him. And he'd have a hat on. He'd have like 3 coats, one on top of the other.
Yeah, well, there you've got
he'd be
it.
freezing cold. I never understood that.
They are, H. There's the advice from Mr. Wiltshire. If it's really, really hot, put 3 coats on and some gloves.
Actually,
Go on, Rach.
do you know what the shearers in country Australia do? 'Cause
The sheep shearers?
those parts of the country get very, very, very hot, but they have to continue their job. So shearing sheep is a very exhausting pastime, and in sort of 48, 49, 50 degrees, it's even worse because they're in tin sheds as well.
Yeah.
But they all have a cup of tea, not a cold drink.
Yes.
They have a cup of tea.
Yeah, that's
Keep
right.
the sweat pouring out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what my dad did. Hello, Terry. The Australian city of Canberra is having a bit of a problem with hungry kangaroos. Is this due to the drought?
Yes, it is. Canberra would normally receive about 97 millimetres of rain in July, and they got 9. that's a big difference. And the kangaroo and everything out in the country is completely brown and crunchy, and there's nothing to eat. So the kangaroos are making their way into the suburbs where the lawns are lush and green, and that's the only place they can find food. So Canberra's being overrun with kangaroos, which is much better than what they'll find in Parliament House. But with all due respect,
she's always got to get one in, isn't she? She's always got to get the one in. Yep, absolutely.
But there was a poor old fella in Melbourne the other night who was fast asleep and heard his front window crash. Something came through his front window, and it was a kangaroo. Who ended up being very badly injured, and was hopping around the house and destroying everything because, they're quite large and they have very strong tails and they can sweep anything off a table. But they managed to lock him in the toilet, and the animal rescue people came, and he had to have several stitches, and he was in a bit worse for wear. I think he actually broke one of his front paws. But now that lovely kangaroo is resting in a nice wildlife sanctuary, but he's clearly very shook up because anytime anybody wants to get near him with a camera, he just freaks out. He has an anxiety attack, and he's like, no, go away,
leave me alone.
So
they're very violent as well, aren't they? Kangaroos can be very, very violent as well.
Very violent. I went on a school camp when I was about 16, I think, and we went from Melbourne all the way up to Ayers Rock. And when we were in the Flinders Ranges on our way, one of the girls got lost from our campsite, and we ended up on a trail out to nowhere, and we heard this blood-curdling scream, and we ran towards the scream, and there she was, flat on her back. She'd been scratched up like I've never seen anything. And it was a kangaroo that attacked her.
Blimey. By the way, boys and girls, if you hear a funny noise in the background, it's not that we're falling apart at the seams. It is so hot in here today that we've had to leave one of the medical-sized fans on, like the big ones they have in hospitals, just to keep computers cooler in the building and get some ventilation in here, because otherwise it's not very nice.
And keep me smelling sweet.
Yes.
There must be a medical solution. No, I'm not going there. The UK might be enjoying some balmy temperatures at the moment, but...
Balmy?
Balmy?
That means windy.
No, that's balmy as in daft. But the Northern Territories, Rach, it's cold.
It is cold, but it's always cold. Again, I will harken you back to Ayers Rock, but nobody calls that anymore. It's now known as Uluru. It's gone back to its original Indigenous name. So at Uluru, you will get temperatures of 40, 45, 50 degrees during the day.
Yeah.
But in July, at night time, it'll go down to -1, -2, -3. It's very, very, very cold there. Very cold, but beautiful.
That's the one, for those that don't realise what it is and maybe musically orientated, that's the famous picture that David Bowie used, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ayers Rock.
It is.
And it's beautiful. Everybody should go and see Ayers Rock. It's one of those things that you must see. It's a bucket list item.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
Can I just chuck something in? I've just remembered.
What?
No, see, this is breaking news. I've just remembered. Guess who's going to come on our show in a few months? Couple of months.
Who?
John Asher.
Oh!
He's not, is he?
He is. He's coming over to see us, and he's going to come on the show.
John Asher is coming on.
Absolutely.
Will he be flim-flamming?
That's wonderful.
He'll be flim-flamming. He'll be doing the hippie shake. Everything.
Yeah, but
He'll be
Wonderful.
twisted again.
will he be having the pies with him?
Why, you hungry?
No, but I'd just love to see him splatter you in the face with a
No,
pie.
he'll do you because he's my friend.
Yeah,
He'll
right.
splatter your face, dear.
right. Yeah, right. Anybody who's an OTT fan, they will love that happening.
Yeah, he's doing it. Honest, he wrote to us today he wants to come out.
What can I say?
Nothing. We'll carry on now.
We just can't, the celebrity status of this station just increases by the day. First it was just us three, now there's others coming to join us.
Yeah, one was really
Blimey.
famous ages ago.
Lovely.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Who?
more famous than that Chris Tarrant Herbert.
Yes, but we've also had, from the European side of things, a rash, which you won't know.
I've never had a rash.
No, and from the international
I
stage...
know a rash. Don't be so rude. I was there when he was dancing on the pyramid.
With me.
I wasn't with you. But
No, he was with
yes,
me.
he was dancing with you on the pyramid.
That's right.
That's why he ended up with a rash.
Ha, ha, ha. Ian Gillan's been on the show.
He has.
Yes. Julian...
I'm not helping you. The wobbly man.
Yes.
Yeah, Julian Wobbly Webber.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
He's been on the show.
PJ Probey's been on the show. Yeah, and see, look at his face.
Not
look
this show. Not this
show.
show.
It was. One was when you weren't
Oh,
here.
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've had lords
And ladies.
and ladies, and
Some gentlemen.
very rarely.
Then Rachel.
Oh, she's a lady. She's a lady. The Bank of
Some
England has
would beg to
the
differ.
Bank of England has raised the UK interest rate.
What a load of rubbish.
Why?
Well, they put it up to 0.75%. All that means is that all the poor people in Britain are going to have the mortgages going up. Although, to be fair, the banks have said at the moment they're not going to pass it on.
That's right.
Yeah, but the people who've got a bit of money in the bank, who've been sitting there for a decade getting nothing on it, and are going to get nothing again.
True.
It is a complete and utter travesty. For 10 years, we have had no interest on savings in this country.
Not this country.
That country.
That country. Thank you very much. Camberwell, we've had yet another. It's up to.
This is terrible.
It's getting really silly in London now, and I don't mean that in a daft way. The gun and knife crime in London is getting to the point where it saddens me to say this because I don't actually agree with what I'm about to say, but it's going to cost the government more money because they're going to have to put more police on the streets. But the police should not be going on the streets in the first place. It should be parents bringing their children up right, not letting them go. Don't let them play on the computers when they're growing up. Take them out for a walk. Do stuff with them.
Yeah,
and then
put
you
them on a lead.
Yeah, well, that's true. And then you wouldn't have this sort of gang-related stuff growing from about 9 years upwards, which is where it ends up with people being killed.
This is the drill rapper, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
and what fascinates me about this, and I don't know if you have this over in your place, Rachel, but there is a music genre called drill, and it's based on an American type of music, and it's been adopted by gangs in Britain, and they are using it to extol the virtues of all kinds of crime. And now one of the main rappers has been murdered. That's 91 people have been murdered in the capital of England in the last 6 months.
When you really think about this is no different than Islamic extremism, is it? It's
No.
the same thing.
No.
They're getting their propaganda, as it were, from certain sources to incite certain things, and that's identical, really.
Absolutely. Well, Steve says, but some parents are too frightened to let their kids out. No, Steve. They go with the kids. With them, not on their own.
Yeah, that's
so
right, yeah.
Steve claims that's why they're on their computers so much. No, what you do is you take their computers away from them. You turn the interweb off. You just go take the plug out from the router and it stops. They can't do it anymore.
Can I just give
You
you
have
an
to
example?
try parenting your child. Don't let your child
That's
parent
right.
you.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know what? Get them outside, and if you're concerned about them being on their own outside, get them involved in team sports.
Yeah,
Like
go to
cricket,
local football
soccer,
clubs and
you know,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
This is a prime example of the way things are in Britain now. When we went back a few weeks ago, we went into a restaurant, for want of a better word, just because we were hungry. And it was there was a young girl sitting on the table next to us who was playing on a computer. Her mother then turned up with a meal for her, gave her the meal, set the meal up. and then proceeded to sit there and play a game on her computer while they both ate there in silence, totally ignoring each other. How can that be good parenting?
I can't see how it can.
You know, there was a time when it was just Beth and I, and for an activity that, you know, we didn't have a lot of money, and for an activity that would get her out of the house and get her thinking about different things besides, you know, who's on what game or who's playing what game. I would take her we would go through some recipes of things to cook, and then we would go to the supermarket, and she'd be responsible for buying all those ingredients, and then we'd get them home and we'd turn it into a big cooking day, and then we'd eat our meal at night time, and then you've used a whole day and they haven't interacted with any of that stuff.
I think Steve actually picks up on one point, and he says if the parents were bothered enough, and I think that's true, and parents have got to say, oh, it's up to the government, the state, the council to provide things for my children to do. No, it is not.
Up to you.
That is the biggest problem. Everybody's blaming everybody else for things, and the bottom line is, even if you start today, there's still going to be crime for another 10 years, whilst the next lot of youngsters come through who are not going to be brought up badly. And I'm sorry, if you bring your kids up the way some of these are brought up, where you do ignore them, you do let them sit on computers, you don't do anything with them, it's your fault. It's not the government, it's not the finances of the country, it's got nothing to do with it. As Rach said, even if you've got very little money, you can still do stuff together. And you can.
It is
Very
the
much,
destruction of our society. Because if you think, like, Eric and I are of a certain age, and our parents didn't really swear that much in front of us. The bad words were about. Then in the 70s, it became infra-dig to actually use swear words. We were the generation who discovered swearing and made it what we thought was sexy and clever. Now, if you look, swearing has lost any power that it ever had, and people are moving into a more grotesque form of obscenity.
Yep.
And that is the way things will go with all the next generation of children.
And honestly, folks, if you've got kids at home, and this is very easy to do in England, it's not quite so easy in Slovakia, but you can do it. I mean, the peer pressure your parents have is quite horrific, because, you know, kids want these wonderful climbing frames, and if you lived in a mixed financial community where some have lots and some don't, or you're stuck in the middle as I was very often, the kids they go, oh, they went round to my mate's house, they got this beautiful climbing frame, yada yada yada, and you look at it up on, you go and you look at it. Ooh, flipping it! It's like £1,000.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's ridiculous. You know, I ain't got £1,000 to build that, or to make that, or to buy it, rather. But I would go down to the salvage yard, and I had a whole lorry full of oak delivered, oak blocks, big pieces of oak, and it cost me something like £80 or £90.
That's cheap.
It was cheap at the time. I mean, I was good at me negotiating, and we built climbing frame, a tree house, an American-sized swing for 3 or 4 people to sit on it. But what I did was I got the kids involved in it, even with, you know, putting the varnish on the wood and all that sort of stuff. So they were painting it, and do you know what? They looked after it because they made it.
Well, I made a swing for my first daughter. In a similar way, I handcrafted it out of wood. I attached chains to it. I swung it from a beam that went over just outside the garage, and it was wonderful. The only problem was the first time she used it, she fell off it and smashed her glasses and didn't speak to me for 2 weeks.
Well, that's understandable, not speaking to you for 2 weeks. But Rachel, what you're saying is absolutely right, because you can do stuff on a very limited budget,
you can.
if you can be bothered.
And these people who say, oh, the council should do this, the council should do that. They're not going to. So why don't you get together with other parents that you know and form your own group, and you can do whatever you want. You can go and play sport, you can go fishing, you can go, do arts and crafts one day. You can get some great big canvases and kids can just paint what they see.
Yeah.
There's so many activities that if you got together in a group, it wouldn't be expensive because you could cover the cost within the group. So
talking about expense.
Yeah.
And it also gets you in touch with your community. You make friends.
But let me ask you a question. What works out cheaper? Doing what you're saying or buying them a handheld device?
Well, yeah, it works out
that's
cheaper
right.
doing it.
Of course it does.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Steve's going, well, do parents have the skills to make these things today? I don't care, Steve.
Of course you can. You need a hammer and a nail.
You know, and to be honest, in the modern world of 2018, if you go onto YouTube, there's so many instructional videos. It's like a flipping encyclopedia where, you know, you cannot avoid doing this stuff. And the other thing is, if you're working in, especially in the UK, which needs to up its ante with being a bit more eco-friendly, you're recycling stuff and reusing stuff. That's actually a really good thing. You know, I know young people have no idea, but you know what? When I was 17, I had no idea. But then all of a sudden, you do get an idea. You kind of grow into
still
it.
got no idea.
And I know Dave's had to do this because, hello Dave, you know, they can't even put a shelf up. I know, but the point is, once somebody shows them, it's like some kids here, and I'm not going to say who they are, but I promise you, they have so little money, it's obscene. So little money. And we took these kids some computers, we built a computer lab together, but I just stood there as like the lazy git that I am, and I was watching them work. So I coached them in how to build this lab. Now they're at the point where village people are going to these places. The village people are going to this place and saying, can you fix my computer for me? And the lads that had no money, I mean, they're only charging like €10 to do the work. But they've got some money for themselves. Their independence, their own level of respect is going up and up and up because we just bothered. You know, and once you show kids, they're off.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
they really are. Good afternoon to Roger and hello,
Roger.
Aisha. Aisha, how are you all the way over there in Germany? Apple have suckered millions to get trillions. No comment from Rach then.
Oh no, I thought you weren't finished with the heading. That's
that was the heading. Apple have suckered millions to get trillions, and they are the first $1 trillion company around the world. And it was quite funny that Microsoft didn't do anything, didn't sort of crow about this, that, and the other. And I thought, you know, that is a smart move. That is so smart, because people are looking and going, hang on. The sales of Apple haven't really gone up that much, but Mark, you know there's anybody else, so I'm not knocking them for that. And yet their profits have gone up further, meaning they're putting their prices up to people.
That's right.
Poor people.
Well, isn't it? But if you think about Steve Jobs, and, you know, have you seen the press stories about the book his daughter's written on him?
No.
What an obnoxious man he was. And surely this company, at this size, the first £1 trillion company in the world...
Dollar.
How much is that? 700... Yeah, it's only £767 billion.
Yeah.
But surely they should be doing something better with the money than this. Their profits have gone up by 50,000%.
Steve Jobs was one of the best marketeers, people I've ever seen. I'd put him in the same category as Colonel Not Tom Parker.
But surely,
Brilliant.
Isn't he the one person really responsible for what Rachel and you and I have just been talking about? The handheld device which is killing the world.
He didn't make it.
Well, maybe he didn't make it, but he's the one who made a trillion out of it.
It was t'other Steve that was the techie bloke.
Well, yeah, but it's still, you know, Apple is the company that is making money out of this.
Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, he was the genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the techie genius. It's the same with Bill Gates. Everybody says Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Bill Gates was not the techie. He was the smart guy who said, no.
He was
we have got to stop giving this software away for free. We're going to charge people for it. And all the people went, oh, you can't do that. speed, did
And
it?
destroyed the world.
Something like that. Apple have cornered the market with blind people thanks to voiceover. Really? No, I can't buy that. Hello to the lovely Wendy Mills.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve, I just don't mind that. Steve Springer's there as well. Hello, Wendy. Mwah, to you. Amazon, their tax bill for last year in the UK has gone down.
But the profits have gone up.
The profits have gone up. And everybody's going, oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's all wrong. Oh, it's this and this. And look, guys, if the law is the law and they don't break it, what are they doing wrong? And don't talk to me about morals, because if you nick a paperclip from your company, you have got no morals whatsoever. It's the same thing.
See, I understand what you're saying, but there is a moral duty on a company that's making those kinds of profits too, because it's people who are making them earn the money. It's people who are giving their hard-earned money to them, and to really do all sorts of things that they can to avoid. It's tax avoidance. It's not tax fraud. It's tax avoidance, which is legal. But really, why, when somebody like that comedian, I forgot his name, gets pilloried for it, and then companies like this, everybody says, that's good business, they're just doing what they should do.
I'm not saying it's good or bad business. I'm just saying it's the law.
It is the law.
And so, what are you saying to Amazon? Break the law?
No. Well, I'm sure that. Well, they were delved into, weren't they? And things weren't as rosy as we at first thought. I find they're not breaking the law and they're making loads of money, but there is
and employing 27,000 people.
Now there's a good point. Now that is a good point. People do say very often about people in business, well, they're making millions, but also they are building businesses and jobs for other people.
Yeah.
But that really, you've got to still look at the way these companies avoid feeding back into society.
Where's the thing that says when you start a company, you have to feed money back into society, other than paying your workers, obviously, paying your taxes, obviously, and in the case of companies like Amazon, although they can only say there's 27,000 people that they employ, the suppliers to that company are nearly as big.
I agree with you. I'm very ambivalent about it. In some ways, it's one of the few ways that I lean towards Steve Mann's thinking on things like this. But equally, I also understand the ways of working in business and wanting to having to make a profit, having to make things work for people on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very quickly, because we did touch on this before, but just to recap on it, a fifth of British adults are now spending time online each week, with the average time spent at work as well, which is a bit naughty. But they found out that 20% of people spend 40 hours a week online. Yeah, well, that's just normal. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 5 8s are 40. My computer's online 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I would say mine is.
But that's part of your job, Uncle Eric.
I know.
So that's sort of a justified amount of time.
Yeah.
But
hang on a minute. We've got
us.
another megastar.
Oh,
we've got another megastar, Rach.
Who?
We've got the man that does all the country music awards, goes out to Nashville and does awards, does them in England with the BBC. It's none other than Mr. Country in the UK, Lee Williams.
Hello, Mr. Williams.
Oh, cool.
Lee Williams.
Hello, Lee. Boy, oh boy, he's gone through. He could tell you some stories. But the funny thing is that you've got all this stuff going on, and yet people have said that you should not use your smartphone all the time. But then it got me thinking.
Yeah.
If you haven't got a smartphone, now, Rach, have you got a nice big girly bag?
No, I don't believe in those.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, now we're in trouble.
I'm not that sort of girl. I'm more of a backpack girl.
Ah, right. So would you wear a rucksack?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, but a backpack and a rucksack are two different things.
You put it on your back.
Yeah, all right. What you'd need in your backpack, rucksack, girly bag would be, first of all, now if you didn't have your smartphone, obviously you would need a phone of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be normal. That'd be normal, wouldn't it? But
Yes.
then you'd need a digital camera.
Yes.
I know what you're saying. I know what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying.
See, Rachel's agreeing with me. All right. Then you'd have to have some kind of yuppie diary come organiser, filofax thing, horrible thing.
Well, I would like to call it a journal.
Yep.
Yeah, a journal. Okay, a journal. Right, we'll do that. A portable games device.
Well, why
No.
would you need a portable games device?
Have you ever
I
sat
would-
waiting
I
for a
would-
doctor?
I wouldn't have a device of that nature.
No.
Okay.
Would you carry? Would you play chess?
Yes,
See, so actually, I've got to defend him. Yeah.
I do.
No, I wouldn't play chess. I would probably read a book.
Well, we'll get to there in a minute.
Yeah. I have a
hello
very
to
important
Sonia.
point. Hello, Sonia.
Hello, Sonia. You then need an MP3 player for your music.
Yes, I would have that.
Or
You're right.
radio.
Well, yes.
Portable radio.
Yeah, portable radio. You then need, for really, energetic people, you'd have to have one of those fitness tracker things.
Yes, but I personally wouldn't, but I can see how fit people would like that.
Right, and for Lee, and this is purposely in for Lee, then you'd have to have a place to put your newspapers.
Electronic beer.
No, your newspapers.
Yes, I
Yes,
agree.
I would
agree
need
with
that.
everything
I would
you're
need
saying.
that.
Yeah, you'd need, if you wanted to go around a city or a town, you'd have to have a map,
Yeah.
bit of paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you need bus and train timetables.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we'd need an alarm clock, because I'm terrible.
Yes.
Then you'd need somewhere to put your pictures to show your family.
Yes.
And then one of the most important things that I use a lot is a torch. And I use my
Yeah.
camera phone for a torch.
What do you look for?
When I'm doing techie work in sort of very dark areas.
Yeah, I understand. Rachel, what he's saying is right, but listen to this. Let me make this point. I think this is the most telling point of this whole thing. Just over half of adults, 53%, say they are usually on their phone while watching television. Now, that's a two-edged sword. What's happened to conversation where you're either on your phone or watching telly? What's happened to family life? Like
You
we were
can do that.
talking
Let me just finish these bits off quick.
Oh,
all right.
sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you
All right.
were-
As Rachel said, physical books.
Yeah.
And then for the girlies to put the makeup on, a compact, a mirror. You'd need some takeaway menus to order your food with. And then you'd need a laptop or a personal computer as well.
Why?
Well, because you need to check your emails, or you have to have something to listen to us on, as Sonia is doing right now. Are you sitting comfortably for this, Rach?
Are you ready?
Sonia says, hello from me. Ryan and Will, we're on a coach currently in Belgium, on our way to Holland, listening to you.
That's nice.
That's
Yay.
nice. Yay. So, you see, you get rid of your smartphone, and all of a sudden, you need to have a trailer behind you to carry all the stuff. And as I've been saying, and I hope Mr. Banks accepts and apologises to me, because he was very negative about this at one time. As I've said, that today, not 10 years ago when they first brought smartphones out, but the smartphone of 2018 is an absolute replacement for what we had as kids in the 1960s, a little pocket transistor radio.
I don't have to apologise for that. Why have I got to apologise?
Well, you said it
for
wasn't.
that? Well, it is. Of course it is. The problem is with the technology, it doesn't work.
But it does.
It doesn't always work. It doesn't work because it's connected to the internet, and the internet doesn't work all the time. You had a problem with it this week,
That was the electricity.
and it killed off your internet.
But it was an electric thunderstorm that was doing it.
So it doesn't kill off your library. It doesn't kill off your.
It does, because you can't see because the lights don't work.
You've got the thing on your phone, dear. You got the lights on your
So
phone.
I need my phone
right,
now.
yeah.
Ha ha! Got you. I love.
No.
I love
You've got
the.
that torch. You've got that torch that you got in your backpack.
Exactly.
True.
Well
True.
said.
We haven't got through half the stories, and we're struggling already. And we mustn't forget a magnifying glass either. Steve's absolutely right.
Yeah.
For our partially sighted friends.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark. Where have you been, Mark? More classic shows are seemingly coming back on our screens again.
Like what? You don't say what they are.
I do.
Go on then.
Alf.
What was Alf?
Alf!
I've never heard of Alf.
You've never heard of alien life forms?
Alien life form.
Never.
You've not seen Alf?
Oh, no, I haven't. I've seen Free Willy. You've got Willy on there. What's a Willy? What's all the things you watching?
Alf?
Don't worry, I know what Alf is.
Thank you very much, Rach. Alf lives with Willy.
That's right.
Just don't. No.
For Dave's benefit, they're actually planning to bring a new series of Alf out in 2019, along with various other shows.
Was Alf an alien?
Yes.
Did he look like an alien?
He looked
Yes.
like a big teddy bear.
And what did Willy
He
look
looked like
like?
he looked like a womble.
He did look like
He looked like a
womble.
womble.
Fleming says, oh, this is really cool. Fleming says, hi, Dream Team.
Hi.
Hi.
Fleming.
Married with Children, that'd be a good one to bring back.
Yep.
But Alf.
Four Feather Falls, bring that back.
But Alf.
Alf said
But I don't know if Willie's radios would be okay now.
his little radios.
Yeah, but he hasn't been using them since 1990.
Did he have a little knob on his radio?
No, he had rather large knobs on his radio.
Now you're just being
And-
showing
and,
off.
and a really huge antenna.
Yes.
Stuck up like there was, rock.
I'm just not pursuing that because you're just being rude now.
Was he the big brown thing with the funny nose? Yes, Sonia.
Yes.
That was Alf, and I still
That
have.
was Alf.
I have at home an Alf mug.
I have an Alf doll.
Do you?
You do?
Did you buy the
I
box?
do.
Rach, did you buy the box set?
Oh no, I actually got the Alf doll given to me as
All
a
right.
part of a clean out of someone's house.
Yeah, but have you got the box set of Alf?
No, I don't.
Has anybody else out there heard of Alf?
Yes. And you can actually buy the box set of Alf.
Steve, have you heard of
Yes,
Alf?
I've seen it. I haven't been moved enough to buy it yet, but I will when it goes down to a decent price.
Okay, all right, but it's really, really funny. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that people are talking about, but they're not as seemingly solid as Alf. But I look forward to Willie using his key again.
Yes.
And
Alf trying to eat the cat.
yeah, Alf trying to eat the cat.
It's just getting
Yeah.
worse.
No, it does. I mean, Alf likes pussy.
Oh no! I just knew you'd do it.
I need to eat it.
That's it. We're off the air now. Just know
I'm
it.
going to cry. Oh dear. Anyway, to move, he says moving along before we get really thrown
we'll
off
have
the
to go on the Terminator now because that's off.
Paramount look to be bringing the franchise Terminator back, including himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How old's he now?
He's got to be about 1 million years old.
Got to be in his 70s for sure.
No, he's not.
Isn't he? No, that's not him. That's that woman.
Oh, well, Linda Hamilton. Oh, I like Linda.
The original Sarah Connor, she was great.
Oh.
She was so good.
She was
she was
absolutely
awesome.
fabulous.
She's become
really
a
was.
killer.
Really. she's buff.
I think our very toilet humour has just arrived in Belgium
Oh, why?
because Sonia's gone. Oh dear. Anyway, Terminator fans, that'll be back. We'll quickly run through a couple of them. We've only got a couple of minutes left. A ripped-up lottery ticket, which the shopkeeper threw in the bin, actually was worth £58 million. That is absolutely not. But the good thing was they did get their money. Arnold Schwarzenegger is 71.
Told ya.
Thank you, Brian. Australia's getting angry over carving into tantrums. What's that, Rach? Very quick.
The two giant supermarket chains in Australia are Coles and Woolworths. They have recently gone green, and they have done this in many states way before they got to Victoria and to New South Wales. But the old plasticky bags are gone, and they will give you a recyclable bag that you can reuse, but you must pay 15 cents for them.
That's okay.
So that's okay. I thought so too. But people are having tantrums. One guy actually reached over and grabbed a shop assistant by the throat for making him pay this 15 cents. So in response to this, Coles has said that they will extend the free bags indefinitely. Right. Woolworths has said we're not going to do any such thing. We are going to continue to sell the bags, and people will just have to get their head around it. Mm-hmm. But I was at Coles today, and they charged me for the bag. So I think they may have backflipped on that idea as well.
Okay,
that's expensive over here.
5 cents.
Oh yeah,
5 cents for a plastic bag. I'm literally going to run through some of these headlines, boys and girls. Alan Alda has been very brave and reveals that he's suffering from Parkinson's disease and has been for some time. There's a bit of a spat going on about pupils unable to read, and the minister in the UK saying it's a scandal, and he's absolutely right. It served, I think actually if children go to school at 5 years old and they can't read and write, they should put some fine on the parents for not bringing them up properly, because that's clearly the...
Can't disagree with you.
Not drinking in middle age can increase the risk of dementia. That's not a problem for Lee. No. However, if you drink more than 17 units a day, it can make
17 a day?
Yeah, it'd make it worse for you.
17? Are you sure it says that? Because I'm not there. I'm looking at the town that's now issued typewriters to all its workers because somebody's screwed the internet up.
Gosh. 3D printers has been a bit of a mishmash of news about this.
This is a very strange story.
And it's all about using a 3D printer to make a handgun.
How does it make the internal workings of a gun?
It can.
How?
Because that's what it does. That's what 3D printers do.
The schematics are going to be out for public view at probably a great expense, but there's been an injunction filed against this.
Yeah, and they can't do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's been blocked.
Yeah.
Even in America, it's been blocked.
So
which is
if
a bit
you've got a
unusual.
3D printer, you can't do it now?
Yep.
Well, the schematics have been held up.
I don't know if this is true. I can't verify this. Steve says Nicky Lauda has gone in for a lung transplant.
Oh, right.
And BBC Radio 4 has lost 1 million of its listeners in the flagship show because some people are saying it's gone all soft and...
It's not very good anymore.
Well, it isn't. New Zealand authorities stripped the ivory keys from a piano, 120-year-old piano, and the British professor that's gone to retire out there is moaning bitterly about it. Professor, idiot, learn the rules of the country you're going to live in.
But it was 120 years old.
So what? He should have got there first. And
are they saying that in New Zealand there's not one piano with ivory keys on it? I bet there is. If anybody's out in New Zealand, tell us, do you have pianos with ivory keys?
Right. Correction from Sonia, by the way.
Yes, dear.
She's currently in Le France on her way to Holland via Belgium. So she's actually listening in France at the moment in a coach. Yeah, you could have a glass of wine. And that really runs us out of time. And I've got so many stories I wanted to do, and I just haven't got time for them. Such is life.
Oh, I know.
I know. What are you up to this weekend, Rach?
Well, I'm going to stay here a bit longer with my girl. I think she's very much asleep, so I'm going to give her a kiss and tuck her in.
Good.
And hop off home.
Can you give her a hug from us?
Yes.
Yes, of course, I really will. And she was really, really very honoured to be featuring in the Consumer Watch Foundation this week. Very, very touched and very honoured.
Beautiful story.
He's doing really well, tell her. Everybody is
very inspirational.
She is literally inspiring people across the world, and that's what she's doing.
Yeah, she is, absolutely.
And that will make her so very happy, and because she was having a bit of a bad day today.
Okay,
but she'll come good again, like they always do. It's a bit of an up and down roller coaster process, but she's coming very good. And so tomorrow, my brother is going to come over and see our new place, and then in the afternoon we're going to get together with some friends we haven't seen for a long time, and we're going to have a bit of a lunch with them. And then on Sunday I go back to the hospital and spend the day with her. And then at about 5 that night, I've got to meet for my first meeting, family therapy with her psychiatrist.
Blimey, you're going to be a busy girl.
You are, dear.
I am going to be a busy girl.
All right, there you go. Very quickly before we talk to Liam, we've got a minute left. Steve says extend the programme an hour. Sonia says yes, what Steve said. And Brian says agree, Steve and Sonia. Can't do that because Steve will get the ump with me if I nick an hour from his programme. And equally, everybody in front of me, including Finn, would get upset with me if I stole an hour in front. So I'm stuck. Can't do it. Sorry. You've got 10 seconds.
I'm going for a drive in my Bentley.
That'll do. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Right, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. It was lovely having you with us. I don't know about the fan and Lee, but hey-ho, it's now time to leave the building. Well, actually, just leave the studio. Have a lovely weekend. Do stay careful with the hot temperatures. It's Steve up next on RTI.
RTI.